Tanny Games here, welcome back to the channel. I'm here with a speed build video for you today, and this time it's for the Forgotten Lands. So the Forgotten Lands is one of my favourite biomes, but I just haven't been vibing with it recently. I really liked it when I made my horror in the Forgotten Lands build. I really enjoyed that. I loved it to pieces. So yeah, that was one of my favorite builds, and over time that's kind of got torn down, it's got changed. Some of that's to do with the fact that I did some dream snaps. Other parts of that are to do with the fact that new items have come in and I've had to place them, like Jack for instance. So yeah, basically it needed an overhaul. So to begin with, I'd already placed out a few items such as the spooky castle variant, the like Halloweeny Christmassy haunted mansion, and Jack's house. Now I was previously in the Forgotten Lands myself, that's where I put my main house, but I've actually decided to move out. Yeah, I decided that I was no longer gonna keep my character there, and I would use the house for something else, you know, whether that be a build in the plaza or if it's a build in the meadow, because at the moment my meadow, it's empty, like I need to decorate it. So if you've been keeping up with the channel, you'll know that I recently moved all my theme park stuff to Eternity Isle, and when I moved all that stuff to Eternity Isle, it meant my meadow was empty, because that's where it was originally. So I do need to decorate that. I'm still a bit unsure of the direction I want to go in. If I want to go for kind of like cottagecore-y vibes, or if I want to do something maybe a bit more modern and structured. I'm really not too sure. I just know that I need to change it. So, but that's for a different build. That's a future Tanny problem. So I really wanted my Forgotten Lands to kind of ring true to the name. I wanted it to be a bit more scary vibes, a bit more haunted vibes and stuff like that. So one of the directions that I went in for this was actually kind of like almost like a Maleficent inspired build. So when we had the Dream Snaps challenge, it was like a villainous theme. I actually originally created a Maleficent Dream Snap, but I didn't use it in the end because I realised it looked eerily similar to a Dream Snap someone else had created. I don't remember what it was at the time, but I basically didn't do my Dream Snap on the like Wednesday. I was a bit delayed. I don't know if it's because of events going on in my life before I was away. I don't 100% remember, but I just remember getting around to doing the Dream Snap late. And then when I created mine, I fell in love with it, and I seen it was just like someone else's, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't submit this in good faith knowing it looks almost identical to someone else's. So I ended up changing it up, and I actually ended up going for a Gaston theme, which I did like my Gaston Dream Snap, don't get me wrong, I really loved it. But I really wanted to kind of recreate that Maleficent build that I did for my Dream Snap. So I've placed a lot of thorns around, a lot of the kind of like dead trees and stuff like that. I wanted to give the Maleficent throne a kind of like feature area. So what I've actually done is I've actually framed the throne with the Scar cooking volcanic things and used the Well of Souls, that's what it's called, Well of Souls in front of it. So I really like the kind of green vibes and lighting and everything like that. that it created. But I did also, because I like some of these trees that have got the red leaves, I've kind of got a mix of both red and green themes up here. So there's a lot of red trees. At this front part of the build, we actually make use of some red lampposts. You'll see that towards the end of the build when I do my little walkthrough. And then in the back part of the build, where Jack's house is, I actually use a lot of green lighting. So kind of like keeping a consistent theme throughout, but just kind of like this mix of these two colours. I do think that kind of like green and red are pretty synonymous with Halloween, with horror, with spooky vibes and stuff like that. So I think they worked really well as kind of like colours to choose from. So the front part of this build is really focused on that Maleficent kind of inspiration. And we've got a lot of like trees, a lot of dead bushes and things like that. And then towards the back we actually have a bit more of a structured house with the haunted mansion here. I did actually mean to remove that there's like a little herb in the ground, and I was meant to remove that and replace it with a bush, but I forgot to do that. So I'll have to retweet that once I get back into the game. And then this house, I kind of wanted it to look like a real kind of like lived in house. So we've got a lot of bushes. It's a lot more, rather than the kind of like bushes being a bit overrun and unkept and things like this is a maintained kind of like property. And I actually mix in some of the larger slender fir trees in the purple. I'm not a big fan of purple, but these are kind of like the only trees that I felt would fit. I would like to have like maybe a different colour. As was revealed in my Discord the other night, I am not a fan of purple. Purple is like one of my least favourite colours, so I would love to have an alternative colour for this. Which, by the way, talking about Discord, if you're not a part of my Discord, feel free to join. I do have a link in the description to my Discord if you want to get involved there. I do tend to post when I'm going live, but also I have a vote on currently, which actually by the time of posting this video the vote might be done, but it's for the next Tanny challenge. So we had a challenge in December for an ugly Christmas sweater, and we've got another one up and coming. So if you do want to be involved in that, then definitely join the Discord. So here we are moving on to Jack's house. You can see here I'm placing some green lights. I wanted to keep a lot of his decor in here, and I do actually use the Zero companion house as well nearby. My plan is to actually put Zero in that companion house, because it now does work like an official companion house. And my plan is to have Zero wandering around, and I think that will look really, really good kind of if you're exploring the Forgotten Lands. And then I really wanted this to be like a graveyard. Obviously there's kind of like the graveyard. I think there's a graveyard in Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm pretty sure there is. Anyway, I kind of wanted to keep the graveyard that I had before. But it's just slightly repositioned, slightly different in orientation. So I start placing a lot of these pillars to kind of represent maybe old headstones or gravestones. Are they headstones, gravestones? Whatever they are. And then I actually have the, what's it called? Like a cauldron. I have that as well because I just think that's such a good addition. You'll probably see down here I've actually got a rock in place. When I come out of the furniture decorating mode, that rock is gone. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know why it got lost, but it's lost. And I end up replacing it with a tree at some point because I realise it's missing, but I don't know why it's missing. So yeah, I ended up replacing that anyway. But yeah, this is just me kind of adding some detail in. Some of these grates, I think they look pretty cool. I think they're a really great added detail just for adding a bit of like texture or dimension to the kind of ground. This spot that I'm working on over here is actually, I was sort of imagining there being like a gravekeeper. Are they called gravekeepers? Like a maintenance man for the graveyard, like imagining that he had like a little outhouse and things like that. And that's at least the plan with that little area. Then I also wanted to make use of lots of pumpkins around the Nightmare Before Christmas Hill, because I felt like it was just like really in keeping, really on theme and stuff like that. So that's a lot of the kind of like decor around this area. I'm really pleased with how this build turned out. There's probably a few minor bits of decorating that I'd like to add, like maybe some more candles and things like that. But overall, I think it turned out really, really well. When I do the walkthrough, actually, there's a few areas where I get kind of caught because of like trees and stuff like that. So I might need to have a bit of a walk around, have a bit of a tweak, because like if I find that I'm playing the game and I'm getting stuck, it will frustrate me no end. So I might try and create little pathways through the trees. So I might do a bit of reshuffling and reorganizing, but I'll only know that when it comes to like playing the game and things like that, to see where I tend to wander and where I tend to go. But yeah, I really enjoyed this build. It was a lot of fun to do. It's nice to kind of like decorate, and I feel like Jack's house is better decorated now, because originally he was pretty much just like dumped in the Forgotten Lands. I think that's basically what's happened, is that the Forgotten Lands has turned into a bit of a dumping ground. And especially with me in the morning doing resets for the Scrooge shop to try and get through my wish list, it kind of got neglected. But not in a good way, not in this kind of aesthetic way. So yeah, basically I just really love this build. I ended up putting a hedge in here because I just kind of wanted to block off the kind of like building a bit, kind of like make that distinction of like a separate area, and then I do shove a bunch of like trees in front of it as well. So yeah, the green kind of stands out a lot, which is one of the things why I say I wish there was some like maybe more colors and textures of stuff, because yeah, like I'd prefer like a darker green bush there, or maybe even like towards a browny kind of tone. I think it would just look a bit better. And we've still got the this tree house here. That's kind of in its own section as well, so I don't mind this. I don't think it gets in the way too much, and actually I've been able to make a nice like feature of the fencing behind it. There's like an like diagonal design that I've done, which actually I really kind of liked. I think it looks pretty cool. Maybe that's only for me, but like yeah, I liked it. And actually in front of the spooky castle here, one thing that I haven't mentioned is actually using these pillars which you get from the DLC, the Rift in Time DLC. And I just thought they looked really cool. I thought they looked really imposing, but because of it being like the Forgotten Lands and everything like that, I really wanted, like, I used one of the broken pillars and then one of the tall ones just to make it look like time's really kind of had its way here. Things have been neglected, the place has been forgotten about and everything like that. Like, I really wanted it to be kind of like in keeping with that theme. So yeah, I was really happy with this build. I did move the spindle there, the little is it a spindle? Yeah, I moved that just to a more centered location, because I thought it would look better. This is where I add the outhouse in, because I actually needed to craft another one, and I added in a couple of gravestones. And this is when I realized that the rock was gone, and I didn't remember that it was a rock that was there. So instead I replaced it with some more of this kind of like dilapidated brick wall, and then I add in an extra tree behind here as well, which I think just kind of works. I added a couple of these Oogie Boogie signs just because I thought they were like kind of a cute feature and everything like that. But yeah, this is my little walkthrough bit. Thank you for watching this speed build. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it inspires you a bit. I do want to say a big thank you to anyone who likes, comments on my videos, anyone who's subscribed. It really means the world to me to have your support on this little channel. So thank you so much. And I do want to say a huge shout out and thank you to my channel members. Your support is incredible. I never expect anyone to become a channel member. I try to keep the price relatively low as well, so that it's not too inaccessible for people. But obviously no one's ever obligated to become a channel member, but it does mean the absolute world to me that those who do support in that way do. But there's lots of ways you can continue to support the channel for free, just by hanging out in my Discord, chatting on my videos, liking them. That all means the world to me. So thank you anyway for joining this little speed build. I hope it inspired you. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!